Hey, what's up, everybody? Will here from Flow Candy, and today I'm going to go over a popular resource we have called How to Plan an Entire Year of Klaviyo Email Campaigns or SMS campaigns, really any campaigns, in under an hour. So, this is sort of the exact process our strategy team and our success team does with our clients. Sometimes we don't do it like a whole year, sometimes we'll do it every month. Just because some clients are a little bit more dynamic and there's a lot going on. But if you really want to set it up one time and forget about it, this is kind of how we would do it. So I'm going to walk you through how to do this really quickly. So I'm going to link to this blog post and you can read through it. I'm basically just going to go through it all and show you what we do. So the first thing that we do is I think one thing that we're really big on here at Flow Candy is the system. We want to follow a clear system. And normally when we start with clients, before we even send a campaign, ideate a campaign, even talk about data or anything like that, is we want to know what are you using as a repository to handle email campaigns. And for us, this is sort of a standard template that we give away to a lot of people. It's just our campaign calendar template. And basically I'm filming this in 2025, but basically we sort of redo this every year with the dates, the actual day of the week. Sometimes our team will even put revenue in there if we're using this as a reporting tool. We'll put in a target audience, angle, goal, products, discounts offered. So this is just basically, okay, today is what I'm filming this June 17th. So I would go here and be like, okay, this June, we're doing a June promotion, or maybe better yet, July. We're going to be doing a 4th of July promotion. So we want to gear up to that. So we know beginning of July, we're going to come out with our first 4th of July promotional email. Then we'll do another one on Wednesday. We'll take a break on Thursday. We'll do one on the 4th of July. The angle is going to be 20% off reminder. The goal is to drive revenue. The products we're featuring this product or this catalog. We're offering this discount code. So this is what I'm talking about. This is the central repository where you put everything, all your promotions in place. And the reason we like to do it like this is because, especially when you're working, you want a home base to plan all of this stuff. But also if you're working across different teams, you want to be able to share it really quickly. Create a link for people to view. We pin them in Slack sometimes, especially if you have a lot of people on the team. Maybe it's the leadership team or other agencies and stuff like that who necessarily don't have the access to Klaviyo or whatever CRM you're using. So we like to start here. Now, to take this up another notch, I recommend putting this in a task management software. So this is an example of a client we have. And again, we have it all ramped up. We have a lot of July already started weeks in advance. I mean, we've had even some clients where it's we've planned this out in a monthly, it's this is July, this is August, this is September. So we're using a standardized template here. It is a standardized campaign checklist. So there's subtasks and everything. And then multiple people on the team, we have copywriters and designers working on it. There's even documents where people, fill out the details of the campaign. So this is how you ramp it up to the next level. This is what it would look like if you have this in-house, you're scaled up, or you're working with a bigger agency. But if you're just starting out, it can literally be this simple. Okay. Just a simple spreadsheet, just getting the habit of using something. So I talked a little bit about that. Okay. So that's the systems. Now, the next thing you want to do is, and this is where I think a lot of people get stuck, is you want to set goals. And they don't have to be crazy goals here. A lot of times what I do with clients, especially if it's Black Friday and they're hey, what should we do this Black Friday? Like the first thing I'll go back and look at and be like, okay, well, what did you do last Black Friday? Or we want to launch this product and we want it to be really successful. I'm like, okay, well, what did you do on your last product launch? Or, we want to make May or we want to make July 2025 really, really good. What should we do? Okay, let's go back and look at what you did in July 2024. I think you get my drift. So you really want to audit your previous year's campaigns. You want to see, you really want to audit like, okay, how much revenue did we drive? Okay, what was the revenue that came from email marketing? And I'm not looking, I know Klaviyo and a lot of these email CRMs, like the revenue isn't always exact. I'm not necessarily looking for exact numbers here. I'm just looking for like a baseline. It doesn't have to be Klaviyo. It could be Google Analytics. I just want to find, okay, what's the baseline? Did we do $50,000 in Klaviyo numbers last year or last month? Okay, in email marketing revenue. Okay, like how can we get to 65? How can we get to 75? How can we double it, get to 100? That's like the question I'm trying to answer. And so that's why it's really important to just go back and look at the previous year's campaigns, the previous time period campaign. Again, I gave you a few examples like promotional periods or monthly window dates, product launch periods, stuff like that. Go back and see and look, okay, what was successful during that time? And again, you're looking at revenue, you're looking at open rates, you want to look at segmentation, like how many people did we send to, like how broad of an audience was it? You also want to look at the frequency, like let's say I'm gearing up, I'm working with you and we're strategizing how can we make July 2025 better than July 2024. Let's go back and look at what we sent in July 2024, how many campaigns we sent, what was those segments, what was the revenue, did we send 10 campaigns, did we send 15 campaigns? If we send 10 campaigns and we want to double the revenue this year, how can we send 20 campaigns? That's kind of like the questions I'm trying to answer. Okay. If we sent to, a Klaviyo segment, our engaged segmentation, we sent it to 80% of the time last July. It was about 50,000 people. How can we send to 100,000 people this coming July every day or whenever we do an email send? So these are the kind of like the thought process you want to go. You want to go look at what you did last year and try to put data behind it. How many campaigns did we send? How big was the audience? How much revenue did we do? What was our open rates? What was our click-through rates? Stuff like that. That's really, really important. Okay. So that a lot of times that alone is enough to just get the wheels churning. Okay. And you can start filling out your calendar right there. Okay. Like if I'm looking to plan July 2025 and I'm trying to double our email marketing sales in this coming month. Okay. And I know we only sent 5 campaigns in July 2024. How can we send 10 campaigns in July 2025? Like a lot of times there's enough there to just get increased sales. But I want to give you some other tips. Okay. The next one that we always do is we go and we look at relevant holidays that are relevant to your brand. Time and date, I use this app a lot. One for the holidays, but also I use it to sort of, see the world clock. Like if it's 9 a.m. here where I'm based, where is it with one of my developers who lives in Europe. So this is a great tool and their holiday tool is great. You can just search holidays 2025 or 2026. And there's, hundreds of holidays here. And I'm not saying you need to have an email campaign for every single holiday. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. Don't do that. I'm saying go look at the ones that are relevant to your brand. Valentine's Day, if you're like a patriotic brand, maybe President's Day, maybe 4th of July. If you are, beauty brand, like I said, Valentine's Day hits really well, St. Patrick's Day. There's all sorts of holidays that you can find that are relevant. So Easter. I would really go and look at this. Again, there's hundreds here. If you're watching this and you're not an American company, I'm sure you can go find, we've had people on our team from Colombia. Apparently Colombia has the most holidays out of any country in the world. I've heard this. So I'm sure you could find relevant holidays for your country as well. So That's one thing I would do too. And again, I'm not looking to do a campaign for every holiday. Basically, what I'm looking to do is I start with that audit. I'm like, okay, like how can we double our campaigns this year or increase our campaigns by 20%? I'm looking to fill this all in. Then I'm looking to go find other holidays and what can I fill in? Okay, like we're already doing a Valentine's Day thing. We're already doing a 4th of July thing. You know what? But we didn't do something in Easter last year. Maybe we should do something in Easter. Maybe we should have an Easter sale. And, we could do Good Friday. We could do actually Easter Day, Easter Monday, Easter Sunday. So, I mean, there's a lot of different stuff that you can kind of get into. This is sort of the ideation. This is sort of a great way to sort of come up with ideas to fill in the calendar. Okay. So that's a really good thing to do. And lastly, I would say the last thing I tell people to do is go and look at your product launches too. Um, so, excuse me, this is the second last thing to do is your product launches. So a lot of times a lot of watching this, you've probably already worked with your operational team, your fulfillment teams, your production teams, supply chain, stuff like that to map out what products you're launching this year. I mean, some of you guys, it might take 6 months, a year to just start on a product to actually get it to fulfillment, whether that's, product testing the formulas, figuring out the packaging, buying the inventory, getting it through production, shipping it. So this isn't something that happens overnight. A lot of times you have this planned out. You obviously have to plan the cash flow and the financing to get these new product launches through the door. So try to figure that out too. If you're going to be launching a product every quarter, a lot of times you can build out, you know, you could spend a whole month launching that product. You could build out 5 to 10 different campaigns, like a pre-sale or an early access, and then you have a special offer on launch day. Maybe you have it, you get like a free gift when you buy it within a certain window. Maybe there's there's limited capacity, there's limited inventory, so you can drive more like sense of urgency around it. So that's another really good way we work with our clients. It's just like, hey, what products are you launching this year? All right. Have you figured that out? Because we can really, when you launch those products, we really want to make them, revenue events for you. And let's really, really put that in the email marketing calendar. All right. So that's another one. So I've talked about having the campaign calendar. I've talked about auditing last year. I've talked about the holidays. I've talked about the product launches. And then the last one is just going and looking what your competitors are doing. We use mill.com a lot. So let's just say I am helping ideate email campaigns. One of my clients is, a protein powder or a green powder brand. I'm going to go look at what Athletic Greens, and there's so many more examples than Athletic Greens. Okay. This is just the one that comes to my mind immediately. I'm going to go look and see, okay, well, what did Athletic Greens do last year? A lot of times you can find this information for free. We pay for this tool, but a lot of times you can get a full year here with a free view. And I can see every email they've sent over the past 12 months. Okay. And so if I'm kind of stuck ideating out, okay, like if I planned July, I planned August, but you know what? We're stuck on what to do in September. I have no idea what we're going to do in September of 2025. I can go and look at like what Athletic Greens did in September 2025. Okay. So they sent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 campaigns in September. So we can match that. The first campaign they sent in September looks like sort of a $3 a day camp. So that's the angle, like how much money a day it costs to use our product. That could be an angle we use. The second email they sent was about research, like backed by science. That's a popular angle I've seen. So we could use an angle like that. The next one they sent is more of like a change email. the next one they send is like a comparative email, our product versus theirs, like $3 a day. It's really the same angle as this, but it's more about reducing it into um, a single stack. The email they sent on the 21st, this is an FAQ email. What makes AG1 so powerful? How can we send an FAQ email? What are the frequently asked questions that our clients or our prospects ask us? They repeat the same thing a few days later. What's another FAQ email we can send? This is maybe like what's inside, like an ingredients email, an ingredients angle. I think you're getting my point. So, like you start going, then you start looking at what your competitors are sending, and you can sort of fill out the calendar. So that's how I do it. That's how we do it. This works really, really well. One, it works really, really well because by using a system, it keeps you organized and it prevents like double work, and it makes everything systematized and clear and gets everybody literally on the same page. By auditing last year's campaigns, by going and looking at that and saying, okay, like what did we do last year during this time frame? What was the open rates? How many people did we send? How many campaigns did we send? You basically ensure, or you really give you put your best foot forward in making sure that you're going to actually increase your email marketing sales year over year. So that's why it's super important to audit and figure out what we did last year and try to beat it. And then by using the holidays, going and looking at your product launches that you have coming up, and then going and look at your competitors, you can typically fill out the calendar. So that's in a nutshell. I hope you enjoyed watching this. Feel free to check out this blog post we have that sort of analyzes it in a little bit more detail. And I will see you guys on the next video. Thanks again for watching.